If you don't listen to a single other thing I say in this video, please listen to this part. Ryan Day cannot keep getting away with this. When you have former Ohio State players coming out and saying things like this, that should be a huge red flag. Some people out here would go as far as to labeling me as a professional Ryan Day hater, and I understand their perspective, but to me at least, I'm not a hater. I just live in reality. And the reality is, I can't believe it's Monday morning and Ryan Day still has a job at Ohio State. It just doesn't make any sense. And let me clarify. Whoa, hold on, because perspective and context is important. It doesn't make any sense to me. It may make sense to Ohio State fans in that program, but to me at least, can't wrap my brain around it. I thought losing to Michigan last year was the final straw. This year, that's the cherry on top, I guess. I know there's going to be a lot of strong, different opinions in the comment section, but here's all I'm going to say. Please just hear me out, watch this video all the way through, and then give me your opinion, because I might just change your mind on all of this. In today's video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm here to present you the harsh, and I'm talking about the harsh truth about Ryan Day. I'm labeling it as a harsh truth for a reason, because, without being too corny and cliche here, it's harsh. And guess what? I'm so glad to see this. Even some former Ohio State players, they agree with me. We're also going to take a look at what some of these Ohio State fans got to say about all this. It's going to be a very interesting video to say at least. Get your popcorn, get your snack, get your favorite meal you like to eat when you watch a video. All right, Matt, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first things first. You know what? Let's check out some of these comments because I want to see what Ohio State fans got to say. Well, why don't we start out with this? This one caught my attention. This is from a Michigan fan, and this was referring to the game itself. I'm a Michigan fan, and Ryan Day is a lot of things, but as a coach, dude, he is what? 51-1 besides his games with Michigan in regular season play? What's Saban's record last 3 years? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, buddy. You trying to compare Ryan Day and Saban? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, continuing along here. Now, is Day as good as Saban? No, but okay, so I guess he wasn't. No, but it's going to be hard to replace him, and which I agree with. Most Michigan fans were holding their breath. We don't do that for frauds. I appreciate this comment from John here, and he offers some good insight, but just like this reply says, Day was born on third base. It's easy to win with that much talent, and I agree. Look, man, here's the one and only thing I'm going to say to this comment from John. I don't care what Ryan Day does in the first 10 or 11 games. When you are the coach of the, now, little bro, Ohio State, you have one job and one job only. Beat Michigan. It does matter what you do in the first 11 games of the season, but we all know it comes down to this game. It's the same thing for the Alabama-Auburn game. And here's where things get a little controversial because I know my Michigan and Ohio State fans, I expect you to do this, but you're going to try to advocate and tell me, well, Matt, we got the best rivalry in all college football. And that's fine. It's either Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama. They're 1A, 1B. I'm an Alabama fan, so of course I'm going to tell you I think Iron Bowl is number 1, but that's how it should be. If you're up north, you're going to say it's Michigan, Ohio State. If you're in the south, it's Alabama, Auburn. But here's where things get a little, I guess you could say, hypocritical, at least in my humble opinion. You see, in the Alabama-Auburn rival matchup, if a head coach loses 3 games in a row, he's gone, unless Saban does that in the later half of his career. You can't lose 3 games in a row to your rival in the Alabama-Auburn matchup. You just can't do it. I'm going to offer y'all this. Remember Gus Malzahn, one of the very few head coaches who had somewhat of success against Nick Saban, beat him a couple of times. Auburn even fired him. I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't give a flying crap if Ryan Day is 50-1 outside of the Michigan game. I don't care because all that matters is he can't beat Michigan. It doesn't matter if he goes 11-0. Let me ask you a question, Ohio State fans, a real legit question. And this is for Michigan fans too because this was a Michigan fan who was somewhat advocating that Ryan Day shouldn't be fired, in which I strongly disagree with. Let's say, theoretically speaking, the next 3 years, Ryan Day goes 11-1, but every single one of those losses comes to Michigan. I'm asking y'all. Do you still think Ryan Day should retain his job? I'm not even going to answer the question because y'all know how I feel about him. He should have been fired. And I'll ask you another question. If the Michigan-Ohio State game is so important, if it's the best rival matchup in all college football, why is it okay for Ryan Day to go 0-3 in the last 3 matchups? Why? It's the definition of unacceptable, at least in my humble opinion. Look at this comment, though. It's not really anything dealing with Ryan Day. I thought it was funny. I never felt so allowed to talk my crap as soon as Honda McCord, called him Honda McCord, man, threw the game stealing pick. I'm sure everyone in my house thought it was a man possessed. What about that? Another comment right here. You can't fire a head coach whose record is 50+ wins and 6 losses. That'd be absolute crazy. Bro, I love these comments. Everybody in the replies, they think like me. He's paid to beat Michigan and he can't. No one cares how many times he beat Rutgers. That's what I'm saying. Who cares if Ryan Day is 50-0 against Rutgers, Iowa, North freaking Western, and all those sucky and sorry teams in the Big Ten? All that matters to me is he can't win the big game. And don't even get me started on this. The fact C.J. Stroud walked away from Ohio State with 0 championship rings, it's an absolute shame. Best wide receivers in the nation, best quarterback or one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and nothing to show for it. We'll read off a couple more comments, and I just want to get to what this Ohio State player had to say. Because I know some people are going to say, well, I don't care what some fans have to say, but I think what a former Ohio State player says, that holds a lot of weight, at least to me. All right, here we go. Finally, a great and logical Ohio State fan. As an Ohio State fan, I've been telling my friend, who's also an OSU fan yesterday, that it wasn't Kyle McCord's fault for why Ohio State lost. It's a coaching issue. I saw a lot of OSU fans blame Kyle McCord, and I just don't understand it. We couldn't even beat Michigan when we had C.J. Stroud. Hold on. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Love that comment. Couldn't agree anymore. And there's many more comments I could read, but if I got caught up in reading all these, we'd be up here for the next 25, 30 minutes. But I'll leave it at this. You guys leave some really good perspectives in the comment section. For the most part, though, I'll sum it up. A lot of people, they were agreeing with me stating that, number one, it's Ryan Day's fault, and number two, defense at the end of the game couldn't get it done. So check this out. Here's what former Ohio State wide receiver Philly Brown had to say. There's no real hatred for these clowns up north. It's just another game with them, like McCord said. It's not just another game. Urban planted it, referring to Urban Meyer, it in your head every day of the year how much we hate that team to the point all you could do is dream about hitting them every night. When that week finally came around, you were so pissed off at them that you knocked their butt out. Coaches don't take it serious anymore. I won't even blame the players. Woo, 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 woo. What about that? That is what I'm talking about. Ohio State needs that passion and aggression back. And look, you can sit up here and say whatever you want about Urban Meyer off the field, questionable character, whatever, don't care. But I have vouched for this man for the past 5 to 6 years. Say what you want about him. He knows ball and he knows how to coach. Urban Meyer was so good of a coach and motivator, I think he'd coach circles around Ryan Day. It'd be laughable. And that's what I'm talking about. Ohio State, when Urban Meyer was the head coach, they were physical, man. You actually somewhat feared them a little bit. Nobody fears this team. Nobody has feared Ohio State in the past 5 years. I'm an Alabama fan. Let me give you my perspective on 2014 Ohio State. I was actually somewhat scared of them. I really was. Heading into the game, I knew with Urban Meyer being the coach, that team was going to play physical, hard-nosed football, and they were going to be a hard team to beat. And guess what? They beat us with their, not even backup, I was about to say backup, their third-string quarterback, Cardale Jones. Smash-mouth football. They had hard-hitting linebacker. Everybody hard-hitting. But now what has happened? Ryan Day's a head coach, and your players, they fall in the footsteps of the head coach. And Ryan Day, he just seems a little lackadaisical to me, and he kind of gives off the vibes of, oh, yeah, I like being a head coach and I like Ohio State, but I don't love it. It's not everything. It's not life or death, and it's got to be that way. It just seems like to Ryan Day and these players, it is just a game. When in reality, it's more than a game. It's life. I don't feel like and get the sense and vibe that these Ohio State players, they hate Michigan, but I know Michigan hates Ohio State. And hey, to the Ohio State players, I'm sure they actually do hate Michigan. I'm not trying to take that away from them, but they don't play like it. That's the point I'm trying to get across. For your leader, your quarterback, which is your leader, whether you want to believe it or not, Kyle McCord, to say, oh yeah, it's just another game, that should have told you everything you needed to know. Listen up, buddy, Kyle McCord. It ain't another game. And I don't even put that on Kyle McCord. I put on Ryan Day because he's the one preaching the message that, oh yeah, it's just another game. And you know what? I think I'm going to do it. Yep, I'm doing it. I'm upgrading Ryan Day to the #1 fraud in the sport of college football. He has jumped and leapfrogged Lincoln Riley. You know why he has jumped over Lincoln Riley? Because Lincoln Riley's not a fraud anymore. I just know he's not that great of a head coach. So nothing to deceive me with there. With Ryan Day, he puts on a mask very well. Not to me, because I've been seeing through this for the past couple of years, and y'all know this. I've been the #1 biggest Ryan Day hater for the past 3 to 4 years on YouTube. But to everybody else, they're still fooled by his act. He puts on a mask and he gets away with it. Just like Jim Harbaugh stated, he was born on third base. Plain and simple as that. If you don't listen to a singular thing I say in this video, please listen to this part. Ryan Day cannot keep getting away with this. When you have former Ohio State players coming out and saying things like this, that should be a huge red flag. He must, and excuse me for screaming, but he must be fired. It is beyond the breaking point. I don't even know where we're at anymore. And look, Ohio State fans, I'm trying to help you out. I'm an Alabama fan. I actually prefer you to keep Ryan Day because I know Ohio State won't be a serious threat. I'm helping you out because the rest of the country is laughing at you going, yeah, keep Ryan Day, keep him another year or two and get disappointed again next year. And I need y'all to understand this because a lot of people get things mixed up. This isn't anything personal. This is simply a college football take. I think personally, he's a really good guy. I've heard great things about him. I bet he's a cool guy to hang around with. I really do, but this is college football, man. But the bottom line is, he's just a really good head coach, and that's all he ever will be. He's not even great. There's levels to it. At least for me, I go really good, great, and elite. For example, to give you some perspective, in the elite conversation, there's two guys, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. That's it. Dabo Swinney used to be there, but he fell out. As far as it goes for your great head coaches in the past couple of years, I think there's probably, now that I think about it, only one guy I'd put in that conversation. That's Jim Harbaugh. For now, at least, Ryan Day's just in the really good category. And, hey, there's a bunch of guys in that category. I'd throw Brian Kelly in there as well, and I'd also throw Steve Sarkisian in there. There's probably a couple others I'm missing, but you get the point. The guys that go in my really good conversation are just guys that have done, like I said, really good jobs, but they can't win a championship. Or, like in Steve Sarkisian's case, they haven't won one just quite yet. He just started out at Texas. And here's the last thing I'm going to say, and we'll end off the video here. The problem with Ryan Day is he has arguably the most talented team in America every single year, and he has nothing to show for it. That's the problem. I don't care what anybody tries to tell you. Yes, there is something wrong with going 11-1 every single year and losing 3 straight games to your rivals or your rival, in which you were more talented than in every single game. And I don't think a lot of people even understand how embarrassing it is to lose to an interim head coach. It's not me trying to disrespect Sharon Moore. I think he's done a heck of a job, but, I mean, come on, man. You couldn't beat the interim head coach. What's your excuse? Because the past month, everybody's been saying, okay, so the only reason Jim Harbaugh beat Ryan Day is because they cheated. Well, now, what are you going to say? Nothing. You just got to take it. I could go on and on. We'll end it off there. Let me know your thoughts down below. But